Lifting machinery and lifting tackle. Moving materials and equipment around a site is necessary for the construction process to move forward efficiently. The moving of these materials will most likely be happening all around you during your day's work. There are many dangers that are presented when lifting machinery and lifting tackle are used. The intention of this video is to cover the many dangers you may be exposed to regarding lifting machinery and lifting tackle. The video will also inform you of the essential requirements you will need to know to make sure no worker is injured or killed on your site. Lifting machinery such as tower cranes, mobile cranes, gantry cranes, teleporters, and hoists must be designed and constructed in accordance with the generally accepted technical standards. It is important to make sure all lifting machinery and all its components are thoroughly examined and subjected to a performance test, also known as a load test. This load test must be performed as prescribed by the standards to which the lifting machinery was manufactured. Remember, the load test must be carried out by a competent person that has been certified by the Engineering Council of South Africa as a Lifting Machine Inspector, or LMI. The whole installation must be subjected to this performance test before it is put into use, every time it is dismantled and re-erected, and thereafter at intervals not exceeding 12 months. Most accidents happen because of negligence or lack of safety checks. It is therefore important to never use any type of crane unless it has been thoroughly checked and load tested in the manner described. Cranes that have not been erected properly or are used without proper load testing can come crashing down. The magnitude of such an event would be catastrophic, leaving many workers badly injured or dead. In addition to load testing, lifting machinery and all components that form an integral part of the lifting machinery must be examined by a competent lifting machine inspector every 6 months. The findings of the inspections as well as the load test results must be recorded in a register, and this register must be kept on the site or premises where the machinery is being used. All lifting machinery must be clearly marked with the maximum mass load, or MML, which it is designed to carry safely. It is important that you never overload lifting machinery past its maximum mass load. If you ignore the MML, the lifting machinery will break, dropping any materials it was lifting from great heights. These materials will fall onto any workers below, seriously injuring or even killing them. If the mass load varies with the conditions of use, then a table showing the maximum mass load for each position will be posted where it is visible to the operator. Lifting machinery such as tower cranes must have a brake or device capable of holding the maximum mass load should the power supply fail to automatically prevent the uncontrolled downward movement of the load. It must also be fitted with suitable limiting devices to prevent overloading. Such devices can save lives, so it is important that they are regularly checked to be in a good working condition. Lifting machinery may only be operated by a person who is specifically trained for the particular type of lifting machinery which he or she has been appointed to operate. Operators of lifting machinery must receive annual medical tests and be declared fit to operate the type of machinery which they are appointed to operate. Lifting tackle. Just like lifting machinery, lifting tackle such as chains, chain slings, ropes, straps, shackles, and hooks must also be subjected to a load test every 12 months, which is to be conducted by an appropriate, competent person. In addition to the load testing, all lifting tackle must be inspected by a competent person that has been appointed in writing. These inspections must be at intervals not exceeding 3 months. The results of the annual load tests as well as the 3 monthly inspections must be recorded in a register, which is to be kept up to date and on the site where the tackle is being used. Lifting tackle should be identified and color-coded in accordance with the 3 monthly inspections. This will make it easy for supervisors, operators, and workers to see if the correct and most currently inspected tackle is being used on site. Now that we understand the difference between lifting machinery and lifting tackle, and know at what interval they must be tested and inspected, let's have a closer look at some of the lifting operations that are used in the construction industry. We will look at what dangers are involved with these operations, as well as illustrate what is required to achieve ultimate safety. Tower crane. Tower cranes are specialized machinery and form an integral and important part of many construction sites. A crane risk assessment must be conducted by an appointed competent person. Make sure that the crane is erected and used only as per the safe work procedures of the risk assessment. If not, the crane could be very dangerous and could even collapse. It is the responsibility of the appointed operator to conduct visual inspections of the tower crane structure whilst ascending and descending the crane's access ladder. The operator must record the findings of these inspections in a register and keep it on the crane at all times. If any visible defects are noticed, it must be reported to the site supervisor or manager immediately. Doing this efficiently may prevent a serious accident from happening and will ultimately save lives. Take care of the crane's electrical supply by making sure all the electrical cables are secured and that the DB is closed and protected and signposted with warning notices stating their presence. This will ensure good electrical safety when working with or around tower cranes. Make sure you never leave distribution boards open and unattended. Bare wires or open live DBs can be very dangerous. They can electrocute workers or be susceptible to rain and water damage, creating a very dangerous environment. Crane hooks must be pop marked, and if the hook has opened beyond the safe limit, the hook must be replaced. All hooks must be fitted with safety latches that are functional and in good condition. Make sure the MML is displayed and that the limit devices for both mass and wind overloads are operational at all times. Make sure the condition of the crane's access components have been checked. This will include the ladder, backrests, and landing platforms. It is highly recommended that all crane access ladders be fitted with appropriate fall arrest systems. This will ensure ultimate safety for the operator. Tower cranes will in most cases be the highest structure on the site, and a fall from one of these would surely end in a lost life. As a crane operator, it is extremely important for you to take the utmost care when ascending and descending the tower crane. Here is a quick checklist for tower crane cabins. Make sure the cabin has been well constructed, is not damaged, and free from rust. Check the windscreen to make sure it is intact, ensuring visibility from the cabin is never impaired. Check that the hooter and siren are in working order. And lastly, check that strobe lights or aviation lights are fitted to cranes that might be hazardous to aircraft. Mobile crane. The fundamental advantage of a mobile crane is its ease of transportation and its flexibility in handling different types of load or cargo quickly. This makes a mobile crane very useful and an ideal solution for work on a construction site. Here are the things you need to check before using a mobile crane. Inspect the rear view mirrors, windscreen wipers, and indicators to make sure they are fitted correctly, are in good condition, and are operational. Hooters must be checked that they are working. Tire condition and pressure must be checked on a regular basis, and all wheel nuts must be fitted. Lights must be operational, and it is important that headlights and taillights are in good condition. Inspect all grease nipples, and all joints must be greased. There are to be no oil leaks. If any are found, report them to the supervisor immediately. Hydraulic pipes must be in good condition and attachments in working order with no leaks. Do not operate the mobile crane if you see any hydraulic leaks. Battery condition must be inspected. Batteries must be secured, terminals secured, and no corrosion present. The boom must be in good condition with no visible damage. If this is not the case, degradation and defects must be reported. Cable and sheaves must be greased, and they are to have no visible damage or corrosion. Any defects must be reported. Brakes must be checked to be in good working order. A deflection chart must be fitted, be in good condition, and visible to the operator. The condition of outriggers must be inspected and footplates fitted correctly when used when lifting. Do not use the mobile crane unless a risk assessment has been performed by a competent person on the outriggers and ground conditions on which the outriggers are to be placed. Banksman. A banksman is a skilled person who directs the operation of the crane and is in charge of the crane movements from the point of loading and unloading at ground level. The banksman directs the crane operator and controls all operations via hand signals. All signals made by the banksman or rigger must be noted and adhered to for safety and to ensure order is maintained on site. Gantry crane. Gantry cranes are used to lift and move items around a working area. This makes them ideally suited for work in a factory, plant, or machine shop. The gantry crane must always be in good working condition, load tested and inspected as with all other types of cranes. The gantry crane's logbook must be kept up to date and available at the yard where it is used. The operator must be trained and appointed in writing. Make sure the MML is clearly displayed on the crane as well as the crawler beams. Remember to always adhere to the MML. Overloading cranes will cause the cranes as well as the materials they are lifting to come crashing down. This will crush and seriously injure or kill workers below, as well as damage any materials and structures that are near the crane. The operator must at all times observe and adhere to the hand signals given by the rigger or slinger. The area where there are gantry cranes in use must be marked with appropriate warning notices. Signage, such as crane overhead, must be strategically placed and in good condition so as to ensure safety to those working in the area. Make sure the hooks are throat pop marked and that the safety latch is fitted and functional. Make sure load limiting switches are fitted and fully operational. It is said that a chain is as strong as its weakest link. This is why it is so very important that all components and parts of cranes are regularly checked to be in good condition. Finally, lifting machinery and lifting tackle must only be used as per the requirements of the Occupational Health and Safety Act and regulations, as well as the manufacturer's operating instructions. Here is a quick summary covering the key points regarding lifting machinery and lifting tackle safety. All lifting machinery and lifting tackle must be subjected to a performance test conducted by an appointed, competent person, and proof of these tests must be kept on site or premises where the equipment is used. The lifting machinery and lifting tackle must be inspected at the prescribed intervals, and the findings must be recorded in the appropriate logbook and registers, which must be kept on site. Check that all lifting machinery and lifting tackle is clearly marked with the maximum mass load it is designed to carry. Make sure the persons operating lifting machinery are competent and appointed and have also passed an annual medical examination. And finally, All lifting machinery and lifting tackle must only be used as per the requirements of the Occupational Health and Safety Act and regulations, as well as the manufacturer's operating instructions.